Hello folks, I know there are plenty of you out there aspiring to be someday recognized as respected creationists. Huh? Respected creationists? Say what? Respected creationists!
This is a 5 easy steps guide to becoming a good creationist, so pay attention or go to hell.
And evolution is still called a theory. Why? Because it is not a fact. It is only a theory, and it remains a theory.
You must repeat this over and over again. You see, in common language the word theory is associated with opinion or speculation. And it really doesn't matter that evolution is a scientific theory, and in science the word theory has a very different meaning. It refers to a well-substantiated explanation supported by facts gathered over time, facts that have been repeatedly confirmed through observation and experiment. But if you are a good creationist, this should not concern you, since your target are the simple-minded.
How did life begin? And why should we close our eyes to the possibility that God did it, God did it, God did it?
If something doesn't seem to have an explanation, it means God did it. For instance, you can easily apply this when you talk about how life started on Earth. Since the scientists don't have enough evidence yet to support the generally accepted hypothesis regarding the origin of life, you must assume it is the work of God. Looking back in time, this always worked like a charm. For instance, now we know that the lightning is an atmospheric discharge of electricity that has nothing to do with anything supernatural. But back in the days when people did not have an explanation for it, they naturally assumed the deities were responsible. In Greek, Zeus was long feared for his lightning strikes. For the Romans was Jupiter, for the Egyptians was Seth, and so on. So remember, if something doesn't have a well-accepted explanation yet, God done did it always works. If something appears to be designed, you can safely assume there is a designer, and that designer is God. Well, of course, if we look at a snowflake, our human brain will probably perceive it as being designed. Observing it under microscope, we can even see it as beautiful. Every snowflake is unique, there cannot be two of them alike, and the individual ice crystals often have a hexagonal symmetry. But of course we don't believe there is anything supernatural behind the creation of snowflakes, because it is common knowledge that the snow is a natural phenomenon of precipitation. It's just water vapor in the atmosphere that freezes, and tiny ice crystals are formed that get around the nucleus until they get heavy enough to fall, and then they drop out of the clouds in the form of snowflakes. Snowflakes that to our eyes may appear to be designed, but it's just nature working. Don't think too much about this.
Well, I look at my face. I got nice designed teeth. They're symmetrical. Good design, I think. I think it's a good design.
Just leave it to that.
The truth is, the Bible is full of scientific facts.
This is probably the hardest one, because you'll have to prove that the Bible is a scientific book. Oh yeah, tell that to Galileo Galilei and others who were persecuted for being smarter than God. That's what an evolutionist would say, and then throw at you some clear evidence that the Bible's scientific accuracy could only be matched by Dexter's lab.
My hair is on fire! My hair is on fire!
But you see, you have an advantage. The evolutionists must gather facts and then come up with conclusions based on those facts. As for you, you already have the conclusions in the Bible, and all you have to do is use your imagination and try to fabricate some facts that could seem to match those conclusions. Now, if proving that the Bible is a scientific book ends up as an epic fail, duh, you can always turn this around and say that God cannot be proven by science, because science studies phenomena that happens in this universe, while God is somewhere outside the universe. And let's say that some evolutionist comes and tells you that according to the Bible story of the world flood, all the diversity of the species we have today would have to be the result of inbreeding. Which, of course, is not only impossible, but also plain stupid. Well, if this happens, you can refute everything they say, like this. Oops. Sorry, wrong clip. So you can refute everything they say, like this.
So, all the science and whatever gibberish you wanna spout at me, all the science, whatever gibberish you want.
So now that we have all this covered, I will also tell you what you must not do in order to be a good creationist. 1. You must not be able to actually explain what evolution is. 2. You must not be able to exemplify a line of evidence for evolution. 3. You must not be able to give one single example of observed speciation. 4. You must not be able to define the second law of thermodynamics and explain its relevance to the process of natural selection. And of course, 5. You must not allow yourself to think otherwise but circular. Because if you do all that, sadly, you will not be able to be a good creationist anymore.
Theory of evolution, which was proposed by, what's his name again? Darwin.